Yeah, today playing as Great Britain, which I think is finally the best country in Victoria 3. China used to be very comparable in terms of GDP growth, in fact, even beating Britain in my experience, but this update, their GDP growth seems to be much lower, so I think Britain is now very clearly the best country. So if we're starting out on Britain here, I'm going to go up to high taxes, very low government wages, and I guess we'll keep middle wages on medium. Are these the most efficient consumption taxes? We should probably take a look. Looks like they're not, so we'll remove some of the less efficient consumption taxes and keep on some of the more efficient ones, keeping us with a little 42k positive balance along with 155,000 reinvestment, which is quite a lot of reinvestment, so we can probably afford a lot of construction. Maybe not quite that much, actually. We can afford quite a decent bit of construction. Yeah, let's remove those 10, but I think we can probably handle like 50 construction sectors total. And then in terms of tech, I'm going to do water tube boiler, and then pharmaceuticals into quinine, and then we might actually go steel frame like right after that. I'm hoping for a nationalism tech spread, and I'm going to start improving relations with Upper Canada and Hudson Bay Company. The reason we're doing this is I want to do the Confederate Canada on Hudson Bay and Upper Canada, because if we annex Hudson Bay, that means we can disband this company, which is a pretty bad company. Don't like it too much. Oh yeah, we should give this East India Company some monopoly rights on opium plantations, I think. Maybe trade privileges as well, and investment rights. I think that's going to be good, because the East India Company is super good, even though it will actually get disbanded automatically in 1850 or something, I think. Now, for my first war, I'm going to conquer Beijing from China. I'm also going to open up their market and humiliate them. This shouldn't be that difficult. We'll move over an army and a navy. Orania gives us a treaty request. I'm going to decline this because it costs some influence, and we don't really have that much of that. The Opium Wars event, they will eat their opium and they will like it. This should get completed by just making them enact free trade via the open market CB. Some steel railway car tech progress. Okay, pretty nice. Okay, war is about to start. Yeah, there it goes. We'll launch a naval invasion on Beijing and get some identification documents tech progress. William of Hanover's time is over. Now Victoria rules England. Oh yeah, and this gives us stuff. Breaks our personal union. Can we get them back in the block, though? No, they don't want to join the block. Apparently this like kills their leverage for some reason. But they do want to join our block, sort of, via that treaty. Okay. Well, we'll try to get them back in the block, because that would be pretty nice. We get some water tube broiler tech progress, which is nice, because we are researching that right now. I'm going to spam some decrees in Lancashire, because I'm going to try to make it like our main state here at the start, using a encourage resource industry and road maintenance, because it has a mappy bonus here, and it also has coal mine throughput, actually, which is pretty nice, but mostly for that mappy bonus, which will be pretty nice. Oh, we won the Opium Wars. Very nice. We can, of course, not start incorporating this yet, but it is still nice to have. 20% morale damage or 10% trade advantage. I guess we'll take the trade advantage. It doesn't matter too much. Okay, I think we're at a good amount of construction sectors, so I'm going to stop building more, and we're going to start going into our iron mines and railways now. Although we should maybe put the railways at, like, the end, or at least one needs to go at the end. I'm going to declare a rival with Brazil because now the Netherlands offered me a treaty and I want to send them a new treaty so that we can do some stuff here. Something like this. Seems like a pretty good treaty. Yeah, that should give us good leverage over the Netherlands. Although they are a major power right now, we can probably derank them at some point. Now, I think we need to go up another tax level because our budget isn't too great right now. And maybe even put on a consumption tax on tobacco because budget is not looking too amazing, but I do want to keep all this lovely, lovely construction going. Oh yeah, and we want to swap up all of our stuff to the newly acquired water tube boiler, which is very nice to have. So the London conference is going on here. If we increase government wages, we could make anything win, but I think we kind of are fine with the 24 points. I'd kind of like favor Belgian claims maybe, but I think it's good to go with 24 points here, just because you don't want Belgium to be like a great power or something. It'll be hard to demote them. Although it isn't that much extra territory they get, it'll probably be somewhat significant because, you know, Luxembourg has quite a few resources that Belgium doesn't get. I'm going to start passing proportional because it's way more money. And it's not too hard to pass, I think. Oh, industrialists do not like it, but if we get one more approval, they actually wouldn't dislike it enough to be big mad, which would be nice. Or not big mad, but they would actually go to happy, which means they would give no stall chance. The London Conference concludes. Alright, we get death and taxes. No, a literary character dies. Well, he's not Charles Dickens, so that's unfortunate, but it doesn't actually matter. Industrialization +5 approval, which is very nice. Alright, we should use all this spare bureaucracy we have to start incorporating Ireland. That is going to be very important, and I guess we should also incorporate a bit of other stuff other than Beijing. Plus 20% enactment success chance. Let's go. Big nice. Can we get a first success on prop tax? Oh, we can. Big nice. Now we're almost out of infamy, so I'm going to renegotiate our guarantee with Orania into transit rights, and then I want to invade them. Oh wait, we have too good of relations. No, I'm a fool. We need to damage relations with Orania, and I guess actually not Transvaal. Okay. Transvaal we actually already have low enough relations with. We need to find a different war to do then now. As a person who would definitely never forget to colonize Kenya, I would definitely never forget to colonize Kenya. Look, it doesn't really matter, because with the malaria penalty, we wouldn't have been able to conquer or colonize it very far. And also, colonizing a single state actually isn't inefficient when you have the malaria penalty, because it doesn't, you don't hit the cap, even though we're colonizing at 6.61% here. You can see we're not at the cap. Now I'm going to go for the great American state of Texas. Technically, it's not an American state yet, but it is a great state. America's kind of likely to join. If they do join, that'll be the worst decision of their life, because we're going to steal at least New York from them, and maybe some other states like Pennsylvania. Well, the USA decided to join for investment rights on New Brunswick. What a foolish mistake. New York shall be seized from the Americans, along with a humiliation and a liberation. Or should we liberate New Africa? If we liberate New Africa, it means that the CSA can't secede. The CSA probably would secede at some point, right? I think it's going to be more safe to do like a Lib New Africa style run. Yeah, let's Lib New Africa. Alright, and then we could also conquer Pennsylvania, which would make the USA quite weak. Nah, I think actually we'll do our final war goal as Lib New England, and I think we'll just leave it at this, and hopefully this will be enough to drop the USA down to a minor power eventually, or at least make them not a real competition for the British Empire. Pretty insane event here, where you can get some state construction efficiency and stuff. It's not quite as insane as it thinks, though, because this 50% capitalist investment contribution efficiency, I'm pretty sure it doesn't actually work, but we'll take it anyway, because, yeah, 10% manufacturing throughput and 5 state construction efficiency is still a very nice modifier to get. Now, after these tooling workshops are done, I think we want to start investing in some universities. I think Midlands might be decent, or let's actually do them, yeah, let's do them in Midlands. We're going to do, like, 40 universities, that's probably enough for now. Yeah, we'll make sure to get all of our universities on philosophy department, actually. And that should be very, very nice. Get us up to our innovation cap so we can research some more technologies. I'm going to start a naval invasion on Texas from this random 16 Italy stack. Oh yeah, the Malta stack. Okay, America's getting destroyed. We occupy like half of the East Coast at this point. I get the philosophy department. Yeah, let's take the university throughput. And let's add in all of our war goals here and propose peace deal. America has been partitioned down to just 8 million GDP, which is, yeah, pretty devastating for them. Oh, the Ottoman-Egyptian War is beginning. I think we might want to support Egypt because we don't really want the Ottomans to complete Tanzimat. With New York back in British hands, we'll start incorporating that, as well as, I guess, Texas. I'm also gonna, I think, reduce our university building by 10, because we don't really need that many unis, I think. Yeah. I think the Beijing government administration just emptied because we just started running a giant bureaucracy deficit, which is a little bit unfortunate. We need to get bureaucracy somehow, so I guess we can start building up some government administrations in, like, Yorkshire or something. I'm going to stop governments because we are not in the contested government range, which we do want to be because that will make enactment time quite a lot better. Nice, we passed prop tax. Super good for our budget. Now we're about to get our third principle. I'm going to put in companies 2. We're going to get companies 3 as our final third principle, and that'll give us another company slot. Now, Belgium really doesn't want to join a block. Wow. Them having powerful protectors. Dang. Can we, like, renegotiate this treaty or something to get them to accept? Because, yeah, this is not great. Defensive pact. Hmm. What about a guarantee? No, that's not more. This is really tough. We could give them investment rights in us. Don't really want to do that. Yeah, okay, well, I think we're not going to be getting Belgium into the bloc then. That's unfortunate. Okay, we gain our next mandate. Companies 3 is a go. Now we can slot in the greatest British company. Where is it? Oh, wait, we don't have the stuff for it? Baklava Von & Co. Oh, we need Bessemer Process. I'm a fool. Oh, it's text spreading to us. Okay, let's just finish that up real quick. Oh, it's actually like super close to finishing. Okay. Well, there we go. Now we have Bessemer Process, so we can get Baklava Von & Co., the greatest British company in the history of British companies. And we can give this a monopoly on coal and iron. We don't have the authority to give this industry rights right now. This company is super good. You know, steel, coal, and iron are all super good companies. Okay, once this university site is done, we want to very much start expanding construction because we are running a positive balance as well as a huge investment pool. So yeah, we need to get a ton more construction going. We finished researching quinine. I think we want to go like steel frame buildings next, with maybe potentially also going like human rights and civilizing mission at the same time, getting those 3 tier 2 techs. Oh, we get Confederate Canada, which means we can now delete the Hudson Bay Company from existence. So what I'm going to do is grant them their own market, which will crash their GDP so that Upper Canada actually has the larger GDP. And we're going to do this. Upper Canada now annexes the Hudson Bay Company. This means we can now disband the Hudson Bay Company. Very nice. Do you want to do generic tools? We can't really use the industry charter, but getting prestige tools is nice. And 5% manufacturing industry throughput is actually just a completely insane modifier. I think I'm going to do it. Just take tools, give it a monopoly. Tooling is in a pretty good industry, so yeah. America is now a major power. Unfortunately, they're not a minor power, but they are quite close. Yeah, I'm going to start building a bunch of ports because we need to solve this huge convoy deficit we're in right now. Let's also make sure we're actually subsidizing the ports because, yeah, we need to get these going. This is annoying. We have such a big convoy deficit. Very tough. I think I'm going to use the next principle on vassalization too, so we can try to keep cohesion decent. Nice. Baklau Von & Co. will now create Sheffield Steel. Probably means we should give them this stuff. Yeah, we gotta get the Sheffield Steel. Surprisingly, Baklau Von & Co. is like similar profit to this company, except this company just lost a ton of profit because of the steel monopoly, I assume. I'm going to bring the trade unions into government, then lower taxes, and start passing wage subsidies, cancel. And then we can start doing public health insurance using the labor movement, get the industrialists out, or leave the trade unions out, and we get this 10% success from the labor movement, which is super nice. Stall chance from the church is unfortunate. We can actually get them in government, but that's not going to be enough to get them +5 approval. Anyway, hopefully we can pass public health, because that will be a big boost to SOL and stuff. The Americans are trying to invade Mexico. This is clearly unacceptable. We must get a defensive pact with the Mexicans, and, you know, I would definitely never subjugate Mexico. And anyways, as a person who would never subjugate Mexico, welcome to being my protectorate, Mexico. Welcome aboard. Very nice. We love to get a new protectorate. In this case, Belgium. Not Belgium, Mexico. What am I talking about, bro? Oh, we're getting a peace deal here. Okay. There we go. Peace with America achieved yet again. They're still not dropping to minor power seemingly though. Yeah, probably not. They're slightly under it right now, but I don't think that's gonna stay probably. Oh, the Hindustan rebellion's going on, but it looks like India's just kinda crushing it themselves. We could go full into steel frame buildings here, but I think we're going to take a small diversion to also get some tech progress into like human rights, and maybe we'll also go into civilizing mission as well. Just want to hope to get some text spreading to us in society. Okay, with the revolt in India done, we get the jewel in the crown. I think unfortunately it does disband, yeah, it does disband the East India Company, but they become a colony now, and we get crown rule instead of company rule, and some other modifiers. Their GDP is back to a new record. Oh, we might want to get these guys off of extraction economy. Although it does help reduce labor desire, it is really bad for their economic growth. Or we could just try to annex them at some point. That would be a decent option too. Actually, maybe that's not too important, but what we should do is get them onto no migration control so that once we pass multiculturalism, we can start getting those Indian migrants. Okay, I think I'm gonna go with the Wood Company as our next company. Very nice. Let's give this a monopoly on logging camps. For the final mandate, should we go food standardization or freedom of movement? I think food standardization, but freedom of movement also seems kind of decent here for the mass migration attraction. Actually, I think freedom of movement is what I'm gonna go. Try and get that plus 50% mass migration attraction and 25% migration quota. That's gonna be really nice. Oh, do we want to take the loyalists in Ulster or the... I think labor movement support is gonna be kind of nice to have permanently. Yeah, that's gonna trend towards 15% now. POV, the farmers in the opium plantations have 36 SOL because they all own the opium plantations right now because they were owned by our pops, but they got stolen by them when the company got disbanded. We're about to run out of infamy. Time to go conquer Versat. Time to reduce Mexico's autonomy to a puppet. We just passed public health insurance. We should start leveling that up because, of course, public health insurance is a great institution. Get our pop growth up a little bit. Oh, we did manage to pass no migration controls in India. That is super nice. Getting close to doing human rights and steel frame buildings, which is going to be great. I should probably actually stop having investment rights in them because investment rights are actually going to make the Netherlands potentially gain a little bit too much prestige. Unfortunately, it looks like they are very high in prestige right now, which we don't want to be seeing because that means their GDP, or that means we can't subjugate them. We need them to drop to minor power, please. Giant Heavenly Kingdom revolt from China is very nice to see. I think we want this a win. Homesteading will mean more pop growth for China, I think. And, of course, no migration controls means we can get migration from them. So, yeah, we probably want to try to support the Heavenly Kingdom. It is unfortunate that they are an unrecognized major, so we can't just subjugate them. Because obviously, if we could do that, that would definitely be what we'd want to do. Looks like China isn't in debt yet, which is kind of unfortunate, but hey, getting Heavenly Kingdom is still better than nothing. It's insanely good. Sure, let's take an obligation from the Heavenly Kingdom, and then let's just ship over some troops and try to help them out here, because we definitely really want them to win this war. I just finished researching human rights, so we can go multiculturalism now, but this stall chance actually is absurdly bad. Okay. We could put a reformer in charge of the PB. Oh, they're minus 10 right now. Why are they minus 10? Oh wow, we've got some really bad time modifiers. If we could get them in government and then get the reformer, then it wouldn't be nearly as bad. I think the reformer actually might not care about this change. Does it care? Let's actually take a look at this. Reformer. Oh, it does not care. Okay, actually, that's going to be incredible then. Get the PB in government, grant leadership, get the PB back out of government, and now we have a decent success chance on multiculturalism. Yep. Okay, let's go for it then. And if things are going badly, we could just do creative legislature maybe. Swap that out for freedom of movement, or swap freedom of movement out for creative legislature. Okay, we can now start swapping up to steel frame buildings, which is going to be pretty nice. We are running huge glass and explosive shortages, unfortunately. We have too good a relation with Transvaal. So what do we do in terms of wars next? Well, we don't really have any great recognized countries to attack, so I think we'll just go for something like Nejd. Start cleaning this area up, because, we gotta get this oil eventually, and I guess it'll give us a border with the Ottomans, which could be useful later on in 1866 when they lose the Tanzimat. We're in quite bad negative ports, or negative convoys, so I guess we gotta start building up even more ports. Unfortunately, we have negative construction efficiency here. Pop's actually turmoiling? That's kind of crazy that we're getting turmoil. The Great Heavenly Kingdom taking over China as having no migration controls on the Raj. We're going to suck out so many migrants. It's going to be very nice. The foolish Americans have decided to invade us for Return Colorado. This reminds me we can invite New England and some other people. I guess we can also invade Transvaal, even though we probably might annex them at some point. So I guess might as well invite them. Now we need to figure out what we want to do against CSA here. They have 123 prestige, so we probably need to... Oh, wait, we're out of infamy. We could just go Pennsylvania here, and It's 32.5 infamy, but it's basically guaranteed to drop them down to being a minor power. So yeah, let's just do that. And we'll also humiliate them, and that'll be pretty nice. Get a minor power USA, which will be a protectorate in the next war. Okay, we've occupied Pennsylvania, and it's just a matter of time till the foolish British get defeated by, or the foolish Americans get defeated by the British invasion. Just invited Portugal to the bloc. We have apparently 5 independent bloc members. Oh yeah, I remember we invited a bunch of these guys. I was confused how we have 5. Plus, it's not even been a year. Dang. We do need to make sure to stay above 50 cohesion, so we should probably try to keep Liberty Desire high on people like Columbia District, or low, I mean. Wait, they're isolated from the British market? Wait, that's interesting. If you get your capital occupied in a war, you can get infinite Liberty Desire? Hmm, that's very interesting. Wait, but what? Where even is... Oh, their capital is down here. Their capital isn't in Northern Colombia. Okay, we get multiculturalism through. That's super nice. I think we should be getting lots of mass migrations with multiculturalism. Yeah, we have 71 mass migration attraction, which is very high for multiculturalism. We should be able to get like all the mass migrations. Let's go Freedom of Movement 3 just to help it out a little bit more. We need to get more... Okay, we get our first mass migration, which is nice, but we do need to get a little bit more stuff. We already have... Wait, what? I'm confused why we can't do that, but let's just go ahead and get a defensive pact with New Africa. That will hopefully put us over 200 leverage. Yeah, it will. Okay. Korean mass migration is going to be pretty big, probably. Hopefully we can get a like Chinese mass migration or something pretty soon. Can we peace out with the USA? Yes, we can. Okay, very nice. With Pennsylvania, USA should just be doomed for the rest of the game to being a minor power. The amount of migrants leaving Korea is pretty crazy. Like, it's at like 30,000, almost like 25,000 migrants are leaving Korea per week, which is quite a lot. We get some Bulgarians moving into Ireland now. The reverse Irish mass migration, you know. Historically, the Irish fled to America. This time, the Americans are going to flee to Ireland, trust. We get our first mass migration from the Heavenly Kingdom. Unfortunately, it's not Han or anything, it's just Siberians. Oh, we could invite New Africa to our block. Actually, let's not do that because we do need to keep our cohesion up so we can start subjugating these guys because we need at least 50 cohesion. And if we invite too many independent members, that's actually going to be like impossible. We get our first real mass migration from Heavenly Kingdom of Min people into Texas. This is going to absolutely explode the Texan population. Not actually that much, but it's going to like probably, it's going to give it a solid boost in pops. Oh, we're making a huge positive balance. I guess it's time to start massively expanding construction again. We can start building construction in Ireland now. Maybe we shouldn't be doubling construction, but I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm gonna start scamming the US by sending them 1,100,000 of ducats. What this is gonna do is improve our relations with them much faster, and the hope is they're gonna be colonizing a bunch of this stuff. Oh, apparently this is just got uncolonized. That's kind of unfortunate. But yeah, we're gonna give these guys a bunch of money. And this is going to improve our relations really fast because we get 0.5 relations per 100 money we give them. It doesn't even cost any influence. It costs their influence. And this is just going to be a very nice way to get our relations up with USA quickly. And then hopefully in a future native uprising, we can sway them for a protectorate. We're getting so many migrants into Midlands right now from the Zhuang culture. The Zhuang culture is going to go extinct in China. We're just gonna steal all the pops into the Midlands and home counties and stuff. Very nice. 1,000,000 pops a year. I think right here on our pop graph is when we enacted multiculturalism. The Circassian call? Sure, we'll improve relations with the Circassians a little bit. Just got a Yi mass migration into Munster. Very nice. GDP is exploding with the massive amount of construction we built. Our negative balance is also exploding, but it's fine. We have 233,000 investment pool change, so it's really negative 500k balance, and that's really not that bad, especially when you consider that our block GDP is over 300 million. Oh wow, America managed to become a major power again? Oh, they're the leading goods producer in Sea Island cotton. Dang. That is a bit of a problem for us. I'm gonna subjugate New England, and then I'm also going to... Oh, we can't invite because we have negative cohesion right now, or zero, not negative cohesion, zero cohesion. I'm going to revoke my guarantee of independence on Transvaal. We'll give them, I don't know, military assistance. And then immediately conquer them. We gotta get all these great states. Very nice. Transvaal is a very good state. I don't know if I'll be able to employ the stuff, but 104 coal mines, 60 iron mines. Very nice. I just built up a bunch of spare bureaucracy so we can start incorporating Beijing now. Oh, we got a Han mass migration to Leinster. That's so good. How many people are we gonna get? Next Monday tick? Let's take a look. Or is it already triggered? Dang, only 12K? Kind of surprisingly low. I guess we're probably hitting a cap based on like infrastructure or something. We should probably build some more railways here. The GDP in some of these states is getting real high. Yeah, GDP per capita in Leinster is what, like 6? That's kind of crazy. We're getting 26,000 migrants into 27,000 migrants into Leinster every week. This is quite a lot of migrants. Unfortunately, our GDP is kind of stalling out, which is not great, but it'll be fine. I think this is probably the cause of our GDP collapse, this wildfire that is giving negative 23% extraction throughput, which, yeah, is not very nice. I think it's time to turn New York into the greatest university in the world. We want to start getting our tech spread going, I think. It's actually a decent trade offered by the Dutch here. Kind of like the split state, but it's not really that useful. Yeah, let's just do that trade. Very nice. Get a little bit of a larger British Guinea. Well, surely this is the final war to make America not a major power, right? Conquer Virginia, conquer Maryland, and that will cut off the American market capital in DC. Although they could build ports in North Carolina, I highly doubt they'll be able to build enough ports to restore full market access. Kind of surprising the Americans aren't backing down, but their relative military strength level actually isn't that crazy, so I guess they don't want to back down. Wow, that's a bad flood. Minus 30% mappy. Okay, we can now propose this peace deal with America, stealing up Virginia and Maryland, and that'll be nice. Should be making the American market now has zero market access, which is going to be great for dropping them down to a minor power. We really need to try to get New Africa into the block. I think they like canceled our treaty or something, so we need to try to get this going again so we can get some leverage over them. It'll be something like this. We can get our 200 leverage or whatever, maybe. Yeah, okay. Our balance is very positive, so it's going to be time to build up even more construction. The power of GB, we have 2.6 thousand construction, but we can still build more. Wow, we actually kind of have a shortage of coal. Well, not a shortage, but we could build a lot more coal mines and it'd still be profitable. Um, we need to build up Pennsylvania. More railways so we can actually extract the coal. All 120 Pennsylvanian coal mines shall be built. Oh, Austria won the German Unification War and formed the South German Federation. Interesting. New Africa gets to be our newest power block member. Very nice. Now that we've got them in, I guess we'll subjugate Costa Rica and Los Altos. After allying with the Roman Republic and swapping our government over to this, and maxing a couple of conscripts, we can now ask for become subject on Roman Republic, which has already defeated 2 Sicilies for German leadership, I think. And now once it defeats Sardinia Piedmont, should become the only German unification candidate, which will be very nice. I think that'll mean that they'll end up unifying Italy, which, I mean, it'll be very nice. Oh, actually, Tuscany will still be a unification candidate, won't they? Well, I hope that subjects will still declare unification plays, because that would be very nice if you can just get a good old Italian subject this way. Dang, a bunch of people sided against us in this play, but I think it's still probably winnable, because, we're the UK, so it's easy. Let's build some good old opium in India. That sounds fun. I see we have a little bit of expensive opium, so let's just build some opium. That'll be fun. Looks like we do have some infra problems, so let's also build up some railways. Kind of don't have that many peasants left in our country, or actually we have 8 million, but I feel like, what? Where are our peasants chilling? I feel like we don't have many, but apparently we have like 5 million peasants outside of Beijing. Quite a lot of the peasants are in Ulster. We gotta figure out what to give these people jobs in. I guess steel factory looks kind of profitable. So need some railways for this, of course, and stuff. I'm gonna stop over to this government real quick, because I actually want to start enacting secret police, because if we can get secret police through and level that up, we should be able to go republic easier without having to deal with like a royalist civil war or something. Oh, Papal States added war goals to conquer Venice, Istria, and Lombardy. That's kind of nice. It's also kind of not nice because it does mean we have to occupy them to win the war, but it's a nice little bit of territory we're gonna get for free. Unfortunately, this is illegitimate now, so I'm gonna lower taxes a notch so that we can continue passing secret police. I should really start trying to get more of these South American guys into my power block. I think Peru Bolivia, yeah, Peru Bolivia is a major power, which is a bit unfortunate, but for the rest of these guys, we should just try to get them into the block. Um, yeah, all these guys need to become members of our great power block. Han mass migration to Ireland, the great Han takeover of Ireland. They actually might get to a similar size of culture to Irish. That's crazy. I assume all of our states right now are at their base culture, yeah. But I think soon the Han are gonna start taking over Leinster. We're about to finish multilateral alliances, which is gonna be pretty nice for that minus 25% infamy gen. We really need to try to get onto a republic soon. Unfortunately, we can't abdicate onto a republic because our ruler doesn't even disapprove of republics and stuff. Oh wait, the radical movement is actually gonna trigger a civil war. That's probably not a thing we want to fight. You could try to go republic or something with grant leadership to this PB radical. Except we really don't want to get rid of Charles Dickens, don't we? Okay, so I think what we want to do is get the PB out of government, exile Charles Dickens, put them back in government, grant leadership, and invite Charles Dickens as agitator so that we can grant him leadership after we're done with this. A little bit convoluted, but now we can try to go for something like parliamentary republic, and we will have to face a royalist movement, but actually we should suppress that, and it might even go below 5% before 75 activism, and this would be very nice. We will have to wait 5 years to re-grant leadership to Charles Dickens, though. We're finally winning the war against Austria. It's taken a while, but the front advantage is now 87, so it should be pretty much a guaranteed victory. Yeah, Austria is capitulating out even, so that's good. I'm gonna reduce autonomy on Portugal and New England. Great Roman Republic has won against Sardinia Piedmont, giving us this slightly cursed borders where they own Venice, Lombardy, and Istria, but they are a very strong country now, I think. We can now do Federate Australia, which combines Western Australia and New South Wales, and Confederate Canada, which combines Nova Scotia and Columbia District for some reason. Don't think those are quite the ones you'd want to combine, but okay. Yo, Argentina and Chile, welcome. Oh, the trial of Queen Victoria. Guilty. Long live the Republic. Long live Great Britain. Very nice. Republic in Great Britain established. Now, in 4 years, be able to have the true leader of Republic in Great Britain, which, as we all know, is Charles Dickens. As a person who would never run out of infamy, we're gonna go for a Persia Protectorate. We are missing -5 infamy generation against unrecognized powers, but that's really not a huge amount that we're missing. So we can just station this army over here in Bombay and get ready to do a naval invasion on Persia. That'll be nice. Give us a border on Baku, which we might want to take for the oil. Although I'm thinking we might just market isolate Russia and hopefully get them down to being a minor power. And they have a bunch of power block statues increasing their prestige. Dang. I think Persia's back down. That's pretty nice. It's very strange that buildings like this don't want to compete for labor when they have 30 productivity. They should definitely be increasing wages more than a 5 average annual wage. It's very strange. Yeah, we have to pay to subsidize this, which makes no sense. Why is this happening? I do not know. Well, America's in a civil war. We can't join the opposite side, so we'll just support the USA unconditionally. This will flip their attitude to genial. Although, probably it's going to flip back. I don't know. Maybe if you give them military assistance or something, they won't flip back. That's the hope, at least. We'll see. They are genial, and apparently they've declared bankruptcy. But yeah, hopefully we can just subjugate them in the future. Although their leverage resistance is kind of high. It's actually only 1500. What's the leverage we have on some of these countries? Let's take a look and see how much we could give the USA. We can probably do a couple more things and get ourselves over the edge. We'll see. Yeah, let's just try our best. So, this. Our -25 acceptance. They really don't want to give a power block embassy. Maybe we can do some goods transfers or something. Probably won't be quite enough, but we can try our best. So we can get 12 from wine. Or maybe if we take some of their things, we can get some more. I don't know. It's a bit tough to figure out what we want to do here. Oh, we don't have influence right now. We need to get influence from something. Rivalry. Do you want to rival Austria? Yeah, probably. That seems like a decent country to rival. I guess we can do like an O obligation, and then this should be pretty decent. We get some power block stuff here, and then we can also do a separate treaty for a defensive pact. Separate treaty for defensive pact. And that should leave us out with quite a lot of leverage. Take a look here. Yeah, leaves us with 200 leverage. Okay, good. I guess we should go invest in more unis because we still have text to spread. We didn't for a little bit, but we have text to spread again. Looks like Texas could be a good place to go build some in. So let's do like 50 railways and then 400 universities or something. For some reason, the Forbidden City isn't employing. What? That's very strange. Literacy in Beijing shouldn't be that terrible, I'd think, because it has been incorporating for 10 years, but yeah, it's just not employing up for some reason. Like, we're on multiculturalism, so it shouldn't be discrimination, I think. Subjugate New Africa. Actually, maybe we should just get USA into the block before we do that. Yeah, let's try to do that, I think. Oh, we can invite USA to the power block. Yeah, let's do that real quick. Very nice. Very nice, very nice. I tried to invite New Granada and they denied my invitation. I think it like they changed attitude right as I asked or something. Um, hmm. Well, that's unfortunate. I guess we'll try to get them in a second. We have low cohesion right now. That actually would probably explain why they denied. Hmm. One more day. Oh, less than a day. There we go. We can now grant leadership to Charles Dickens. So actually, let's put him in government before we swap governments because otherwise we will have some problems. We'll have to redo the government or something. Grant leadership back to Charles Dickens. Take out the Polite Party, and after this little bit of lag is over, now Charles Dickens is our ruler. I think he is like 64 years old at this point now. Or no, 59 years old. So he's probably only got like 10 to 20 years left, but he is persistent and cautious, so, you know, he's going to live longer than the average character, and that's going to be very nice. We are almost out of infamy. Cautious, literary, very good to see. So I'm going to declare war to conquer Montenegro. This should call in the Russians. It'll make them not able to back down, and also not able to call in Austria or Prussia. So yeah, they're really a fool for joining this play, but it's fine. And we're going to surround the Russian market capital of Ingria with conquering Pskov, Novgorod, and East Karelia. We need an interest in Finland and Baltic Governorate. And then we're also going to liberate Baltic Governorate and Finland, of course, because that's going to be required. So now we just need to wait for interests to appear in Livonia and Finland. Okay, interest in Livonia and Finland has appeared. So we're now going to liberate Finland. And I kind of want to transfer Baltic Governorate, but we actually don't have the maneuvers for that. So we'll liberate them. Then we're going to conquer Pskov, Novgorod, and East Karelia. And this is going to result in the Russian market capital being isolated. You know, this is all clearly revenge for the Russians taking Tabriz. So now they must get surrounded in their capital. Where is East Karelia actually here? Why am I so bad at finding things? There's East Karelia. And then we need Pskov as well. So I should find that real quick, please. Okay, there's Pskov. And that's going to be the Russian market capital surrounded. Except they're still going to do like trade via ports, but that's going to cost them convoys, which I don't think they have too many of. We might need to liberate Kovno or conquer Kovno in a future war. Or could we do it in this war? I think it might be too much maneuvers. Yeah, it looks like it is. Can't see it on this list, and it is. Okay, unfortunate. Yeah, it's incorporated with 1 million pops, so it's definitely not going to be there. Probably call in Persia to this place so we have a front to distract them with while we naval invade or something. We should probably try to make a shrapnel army as well, actually. That would be very good for this war. We can get like a good shrapnel army, like 2 more sets of skirmish infantry, and then 50 more shrapnel or something. Okay, enforce military access on Persia. And now our great 106 deck can go over there, along with probably some East India Company troops. And then once our shrapnel artillery army is ready, we can go for a naval invasion on Ingria. Joining the scramble for Africa, that means we can now go level 5 colonial affairs and also start colonizing a bit more of these severe malaria areas. I'm gonna do this government because it is quite a bit more legitimate, and we don't want to be spawning a million radicals from illegitimacy. I don't know why it didn't update. What? The perils of the government screen having so much lag. Oh, we got the work to rule debuff from the trade unions. Unfortunate. Naval invasion on Ingria. They've bring back quite a few guys, so our front advantage is actually kind of gone. But we have pretty good offense on our shrapnel artillery guys, so we are winning this offensive battle. Although they didn't have quite as many troops back when we started that battle, so this might be a problem. We'll see. Should probably keep only like one general on advance. We actually need to figure out which general is best for attacking. Probably not that guy. Really, we have like no good attacking generals. Well, I guess we'll just put a random one then. Dang, we're failing the landing. Oh, but we're massively winning down here. Okay, that's good at least. We can like mobilize another army, put it down here, and just keep pushing from here, and eventually they'll be forced to reallocate. It's insane that the Dutch are exporting almost as much as us. Like, what is going on? Why are we exporting like nothing? I feel like we should be exporting like tools or something. Wow. I guess their market price is just a bit low. I don't know. Crazy that we're exporting so little, really. Bruh. USA just like left my block and we have no leverage on them anymore? I'm so confused. I don't know how this happened. Well, that's unfortunate. We'll probably have to pay the 50 infamy to protectorate them. We could even annex country, but that's over 100 infamy. Finally going to be landing in Ingria, which is going to be nice to see. That'll mean we can isolate the Russian capital, or the Russian market capital. I assume the Russian economy is sort of collapsing because we've occupied like the entire south of their country at this point, which is pretty nice. Very soon, can we do a peace deal like this probably? Yeah, this seems like a decent peace deal. We really don't care about them getting transit rights on us. And yeah, we can just do this in just a second. The Russians will accept this treaty. And nice. Russia no longer gets to have market access. Well, they probably get to have a little bit. Yeah, they get to have 38% market access, which is probably going to mean a slight jump in their GDP temporarily. But all their buildings are now going to be incredibly unprofitable and start losing stuff. It looks like they just swapped all their farms off of fertilizer because now they just don't have the market access for that. So I accidentally had my mic muted while talking about this, but we liberated UA, or we're liberating UA because we need to make China go down low enough prestige, and that will be enough, I'm pretty sure. They're 370 right now because they're like half bankrupt. We also have this enforced goods transfer, which is set to be like 66% of the cap of how much grain we could steal from them. And the reason we're not setting it to the full is they would contravene the treaty if we did that. And then we have liberate and humiliate, just so that they will be more likely to back down. This enforced goods transfer is made here to bankrupt them. I'm like 99% sure this will bankrupt them. Oh, I think the Chinese just back down. Yep. I'm gonna Han mass migration again. But anyway, that's super nice because, yeah, now they're gonna start bankrupting almost certainly, unless they contravene the treaty or whatever. Or what we need to remember to do is send them a fake treaty because this will make sure to update that thing because sometimes they like pay the wrong grain price and sell for the wrong grain price, which is really weird. But doing this should hopefully fix that. Okay, we can see they're in debt and they're gaining like 500,000 debt a week. For the low, low price of 1 PM swap, we will crash the price of tools into the floor. 520 million GDP. Yeah, tool prices are gotta be through the floor now. Negative 50%. Rubber prices are very high. Once we get pump jacks, they should go back to being normal. And that is the unification of Canada. Very nice. Wait, what? Australian Federation. Canadian Federation. Yeah, there it is. Plus 20% prestige from that is kind of nice. At almost 5,000 prestige. Actually, instead of going compression munition next, I'm actually going to take a quick little stop for Zeppelins because I think we really need the Mappy. Like, a lot of our buildings are really unprofitable, and I think it's probably largely due to Mappy. The Heavenly Kingdom is sitting at 80 million debt, so I think it's just a matter of time until they go bankrupt at this point. So there's a revolt going on in Japan. It's minus 53 to accepting, so we're going to get a defensive pact, and -1. No shot, we're -1. Okay, let's just add 1,000,000 conscripts, and hopefully we can get that final +1 out of the +50, and that should be enough. Like this many conscripts or something. Surely we can get the +1. Yeah, okay, there we go. Very nice. Japan Protectorate. Oh, looks like China has bankrupted. Let's take a look at their prestige. Yeah, it's massively below the 220 they need to become an unrecognized regional. So that should be very good. Just a matter of time till they go into unrecognized regional. And the Heavenly Kingdom is a minor power, so we can now do a protectorate play, and I guess we can add some more war goals to make them hopefully back down. Although it really doesn't matter. Just might as well make them back down. Oh, the Heavenly Kingdom backed down. Of course they backed down. They're bankrupt. They have widespread opium addiction, and we've added like 130 maneuvers of war goals against them. Oh yeah, we get up in the air because he researched Zeppelins. Nice plus 30 offense will be useful. I think we're going to be fighting Russia in just a second here. But yeah, having Heavenly Kingdom as a subject is super nice. We do want to try to make them a puppet. Oh, we're committed. Wait, what? Wait, we're in a war against Russia? Okay, well, I thought I was going to declare a war against Russia, but apparently Russia is declaring a war against us. Well, I'm going to declare a separate play to make United Baltic Provinces a protectorate so they can stop shipping their stuff through that. Then, in terms of war goals, we could like do some stuff here for these guys, but I don't think we want to. Yeah, they don't even have a war goal on Baku or anything, so I think there's not too much point to any war goal. We can. Do we want to liberate countries from Russia? Yeah, we should probably try to liberate something, or at least Lithuania. This will cut them off from the coast. Maybe we should have done Poland, because I actually would have done it through here. And what else do we want to liberate? We don't have an interest in Ukraine or anything, unfortunately. Yeah, without an interest in Ukraine, there really isn't too much we can do. I guess Kazakhstan, probably want to do that to weaken them a little bit. Yeah, let's primary Lithuania. And then let's start moving our armies over here. Oh, Russia just backed down. Okay. Well, I guess that's kind of nice. Now they're not going to have Lithuania, which means once we protectorate the Baltic governorates, they're not really going to have a very nice way to ship their stuff. They're going to have to ship it like all the way around. Okay, United Baltic Provinces back down, I think. So that means now Russia's got 60% market access, which is actually kind of high. But I don't know if they'll build ports to try to solve this. We'll see what happens. Hopefully they won't, and they'll just sit at 60% market access, which is not actually that bad, I guess. We need to somehow lower it. 60% isn't low enough. Unfortunately, Bukhara is a Russian protectorate, so we can't use them to grant states to Heavenly Kingdom. I'm gonna, I guess, go for an annexation on Burma. Because this, wait, oh, that's actually supported by the French? It's not very nice. We need a quite easy war we can do, hopefully. I guess we could just like conquer Bahari Punjab. Or no, actually let's go for a war on Kashmir and then feed the rest to the Raj with return CBs. I think that's going to be good. And we need at least one of them to be primary. Or actually we can't get Pashtunistan from them. Okay, let's do like this. And this should be fine. They could back down, but it doesn't matter. We'll get our connection either way if they back down or not. Oh dang, they backed down last second. Alright. Okay, time to go scam the world with the Heavenly Kingdom. The Heavenly Kingdom is gonna steal everything from everyone, except then I'm gonna steal everything from them. What did I just give them where they just lower their liberty desires so much? I can't even see what I gave them on the map. I'm not sure. I guess, was it this? I don't know. But anyway, now they're a puppet, which is very nice. And now I'm just gonna feed all their land to Japan real quick so that we can reduce Japan's autonomy as well. And that's going to be very nice. And then we're going to feed... I actually don't know. Do we want to feed No, we can't use Japan, actually, because they are going to be having a truce. So we have to use either Korea, Tibet, or the Raj. The Raj would give us the advantage of stealing their subjects, but it would come at the cost of a decent bit of infamy. It's actually not that much infamy. It'd be, like, what, 25 infamy or something? Okay, I think I'm going to annex it via the Raj. It is a slightly bit more infamy because they are recognized, but we get all of their subjects, and you know, the Raj has a ton of subjects, so that's going to be nice. Oh, we need to give Persia something. We'll give them Portuguese Gujarat, sure. And now Persia is a puppet, and so we're just going to now feed everything to the Raj, and this is going to be a nice little expansion, give us plenty of pops that we can use. Well, we're really going to need like 20 years to start really utilizing these pops once it incorporates, but it's going to be nice to be able to use them after those 20 years are up. Okay, now if we just declare neutrality in this American revolt, we can now annex the Raj for the low price of 27 infamy. And they accept. Yes, very nice. A terminus like no other? Of course. Let's make our map mode please go back to being normal. It claims they're no longer a member, but they still are, I'm sure. We just hit 1.1 billion GDP, which is very, very nice to see. Now, unfortunately, I don't think that 20,000 bureaucracy is actually going to be enough, but we will start trying to incorporate, and we'll probably start building a lot of government administrations, specifically in Beijing, because I just realized Beijing is fully incorporated now, so we should definitely start working on getting some government administrations going there. Oh, and we should top up actually all of our government administrations we just conquered. 2 standardized filing systems. That gives us a small amount more, which we can use to incorporate like 1 more state. The states over here cost so much bureaucracy. Building government administrations in Beijing is not exactly working out too well. I'm going to just start incorporating a bunch more states here. We're going to go pretty negative in bureaucracy, but I think we have auto-expanding government administrations or something. No, we don't. Let's turn it on for all of our government administrations. And that should make like all of them start expanding now. And then, yeah, we need to build like a ton of government administrations, basically. Try to solve our government administration deficit. And we need to incorporate even more stuff. We're only incorporating like core China right now. We still have a ton more to incorporate. And we need to actually like annex UA and stuff. Let's start damaging relations with them. We have more bureaucracy. Nice. Let's start incorporating Japan. Japan actually has some really good resource states, so we should try to incorporate that as soon as possible. Okay, it's time to DC freedom of movement in favor of food standardization too, so we can get more pop growth. The incorporation of India and China is going very, very well. Yeah, we're already like most of the way through incorporating all this stuff. Just got a little bit left to do. We unlocked combustion engines, so we can start maybe building some cars over here in Beijing. That sounds fun. We love cars. Cars are very fun. Dang, the Russians have managed to restore 100% market access. This is unacceptable. We should probably like try to get some goods transfers from them or something. I'm not sure how we need to extract money from the Russians to get them to bankrupt. Dang, UA is an unrecognized regional power, so we can't use the annexed country CB on them. Very unfortunate. Well, we will annex their country anyway. Oh, we have return state CBs from Heavenly Kingdom. Yeah, let's just conquer them. They might back down, actually, which would be pretty unfortunate if they do, but it's not a huge deal. We are actually already incorporating Western Guangdong, so we don't really care if that one. Guangxi would be pretty nice, but it's not a huge loss. I guess I should queue up more construction in the queue, because we are running sort of like a positive balance, which is, you know, kind of crazy, but also nice. And we should also finish incorporating everything, because we've got a bunch of spare bureaucracy yet again, so it's time to finish up incorporating. Oh, I think UA backed down. We got Eastern Guangdong. I did not know that bugged company headquarters could still happen. You can get a bugged company headquarter in Bombay. And we, of course, just built the Victoria Terminus, which is very nice, giving us 20% railway throughput. I believe that's global. Let's take a look. Yes, Victoria Terminus is giving us some railway throughput, which is very nice. We should also swap up all of our railways using the second PM. We need to protect the Ottomans. We're like really lacking ports, or we're really lacking convoys, and protecting the Ottomans should hopefully fix that, because this will give us it'll make the shipping only have to go to Albania or something instead of having to go to British Baluchistan, which means it has to go all the way around Africa. Ottomans backed down. Crazy. Everyone keeps backing down to my country. Anyway, that's going to be nice. It actually didn't solve our convoy issue as much as I would have hoped, but it should help it a little bit, because I assume the British market is now, yeah, it's now going through Albania. Nice. Now next we need to like conquer through France and Sardinia Piedmont and Austria to get a connection where it just needs to go through one. Or we really, at some point we probably should move our market capital into like Africa or Asia or whatever. Like we can move it to Nejd or Kenya or something. Beijing. We should probably turn on industrial port. We need to upgrade our shipyards and stuff as well, but this should give us a ton more convoys if we have our shipyards and stuff upgraded for this. Oh, we also need to swap up our PMs over here. Some would say that I really need to swap up more of my PMs, and they would be right, but that like takes effort, and I should do it anyway, but like, yeah, I'll do it. We've got another company slot, and I'm gonna slot in British Motor. Gotta get that automobile industry, it's so good. Oh, let's go. The Roman Republic actually declared war on Tuscany for Italian leadership. I'm pretty sure this is the final war for Italian leadership. I don't think there's any other minor powers. Yeah, there aren't. Okay, they're also conquering Campania and Calibra, which is a little bit weird. But, yeah, we'll join them. Sure, an obligation would be nice. Only next thing is we hope that they'll actually declare unification play. Because that would be nice, but maybe they won't, and they might just unify with the thing, although they will have bad relations with Two Sicilies and Sardinia Piedmont and stuff after this war, probably, so I don't know how well that will go for them. Oh, Tuscany already got pieced out, so we can just accept this white piece. Okay, that's good. And hopefully the Roman Republic will be able to unify Italy soon enough. No! Oh, wait, what? Did it just swap who's in government? Oh, it did. Okay, so the election, and the PB is no longer the largest party. Okay, we need to promote some PB generals real quick, because, yeah, that's not acceptable. We actually have no PB generals. Um, Dang. Okay, we can hire a PB general. Does that get them over 10% clout, maybe? Okay, it does. So now, if we just do like this, and then swap out the industrialists again, get Charles Dickens back as our ruler. 2 billion GDP! I'm trying to spam all the construction sectors we can. I think we're kind of running out of states to build construction sectors in. Or no, we actually have quite a few, actually. Oh, wait, we have a lot. We have a ton more states we can build construction sectors in, seemingly. Well, I'm going to get building them. The Ottoman GDP growth since becoming our subject is kind of crazy. But, you know, you're going to become a puppet now, Ottomans. It's time to go protectorate America. We need to crush this stupid 13 colonies rebellion. They must be reintegrated into the great empire of Britain. They are actually kind of close to becoming a major power, which would not be ideal, so we should probably put in some war goals to have them back down, just because it wouldn't be ideal if the war takes too long and they end up becoming a major power. Well, I kind of wanted to add more war goals, but the war goal adding screen is incredibly laggy for some reason, so I guess I don't really get to do that. America is way too close to becoming a major power. Let's raise government wages real quick. That should kick them quite a bit of ways. Yep, it does. Oh, America backed down. Okay, that's nice. What? The French are attacking me. This is unacceptable. How dare they? We have actually like a little bit too much infantry to really conquer too much stuff from them. Why is the war goal screen so laggy? What? But yeah, I'm gonna go for Normandy in this war. That'll be fun, you know. Start trying to isolate the French capital. I'm gonna start naval invading Normandy. We might need to build up more boats so we can do more naval invasions. I don't know. That seems like a decent idea. Should probably build more boats. Yeah, we gotta build more boats. Boats. Oh, France managed to occupy India. Let's enforce mill access on like all of our subjects, and they should clean this up for us probably. Okay, enforce mill access on a bunch of them. I'll mobilize these 15 stack as well. And that should be enough, right? Oh, I actually have a decent amount of troops here. Yeah, that's actually quite sad. Okay, let's send over an army here. I'm surprised at how strong the French are. They've got a pretty decent economy. Could we get mill access through Sardinia Piedmont, maybe? No, they actually really hate us. Okay, that's unfortunate. Dang. Maybe when Switzerland is done with their civil war, we can get mill access through them. Oh, actually, Spain. We can get mill access through Spain. We can give them, like, a tiny bit of money to do this. Oh, they don't want to do that because it removes equal exchange. Okay, let's owe them Do you want to owe the Spanish an obligation? I think it's fine. Yeah. And then we can do like a invasion with this army or something. Except, actually, we should use you to take over India real quick. We're managing to push through Languedoc with our land invasion, which is good. But other than that, we are actually doing surprisingly bad against the French. Like, we're not kicking them out of India, which is actually insane that we're not kicking them out of India. We're racking up so much devastation here. This is a big problem. Like, why would they do this to me? Why would you do this to me, France? You didn't have to do this. Okay, we've occupied Languedoc via the land invasion, which is nice to see. Looks like they put 100 troops on the Brittany front. That's crazy. I think we're gonna slowly kick them out of Bombay here. How are we not, bro? We have so many troops here compared to them. This is ridiculous. Defense. Please, just let me turn on luxurious supplies and stuff. And then please, just troops get morale so that you can outnumber them. Because we should outnumber them, like, insanely. Like, how in the world are we not winning this? Oh, we occupied Normandy from our landing, finally. Okay, that means we can peace out France and stop being occupied in India, which is nice. Oh, we got compression ignition. We should probably use that, you know, that would be pretty useful. Maybe not diesel engines, but we should turn on at least mass production. This is obviously the greatest PM ever. Let's maybe try diesel engines. Or how much oil do we have in our market? Oh, we have nowhere near enough oil for diesel engines. That's actually insane how much oil that needs. But we'll start turning up diesel pump. Oh, that's gonna like double our oil demand. Yeah, we're actually running an oil shortage. Okay, that's not great. We need to fix oil. Yeah, we need to build like every oil rig ever, and that should fix our oil situation. Dang, Charles Dickens has finally died. He's been replaced with Joseph Chamberlain. Well, we're gonna need to find a new cautious leader then. I think, yeah, industrialists are by far our largest interest group, so we'd like to get one of those, but I doubt they're gonna have a cautious. Oh, there's not even anything to scroll there. Wow, that's how few characters of the industrialists there are. Well, we have an intelligentsia guy that's cautious, so we could potentially get. We just need to get an agitator slot, I guess. So, exile, get this intelligentsia guy, bring the intelligentsia into government. Wait, this person is literary and cautious, but they're 72 years old. Surely they'll survive 5 years. Surely. Oh, wait, no, we can't grant them because we don't have women's suffrage. But we got this new character that's cautious, so we'll invite them. And yeah, that's gonna be a nice leader now. Cautious yet again. Got another company slot. I think I'm gonna go ahead and pick up the munitions company. I think it's kind of good when you have Carnegie or what's it called? Baklavan and Co. because you can get sulfur, and this completes out all of our mine industries, which is pretty nice. Explosives, I think, are a really nice industry. So yeah, real nice. GDP is going very well. We're up to 2.75 billion. We really need to take Baku from Russia, but unfortunately, they have, their squad of Prussia and Austria still supporting them, which is going to make this kind of tough. But I think we kind of just got to go for it. Take Baku, and maybe we should have. No, let's not do anything else, I think. Except, like, liberating Ukraine and stuff, maybe. I think we should liberate Ural and Kazakhstan, I guess. Yeah, that seems good. Ukraine, Kazakhstan, and then I guess let's primary lib Ukraine. Okay, this should be decent. And then the other countries are going to join against us, and we're going to be very sad, but we'll deal with it. Yeah, it should be fine. We should be able to win the war. We should also set our navy up to here and start blockading the Russian coast, or actually convoy raiding, so they don't have convoys after the war's over as well. And that way they will hopefully go into debt or something, but I don't know, it's gonna be tough. The Russians have 150 million GDP, so yeah, it's gonna be tough. Wow, Midlands Munitions has a lot more profit than I expected. 1.8 million? That's crazy. It's more profitable than British Motor. Wow. In fact, it's already our second most profitable company. That is actually partially due to motor prices being incredibly low. Oh, we have a tariff on them. That would explain why. Yeah, let's put a subvention on the export of automobiles. That should help out the price a little bit. I should be setting my navy into raid convoys mode so that it actually raids the convoys. Deficit's getting a little out of control. I'm gonna put taxes back up to maximum and maybe put another consumption tax on, because yeah, this deficit is a little bit terrible. Yeah, we really need some more money here. The Russian economy is collapsing due to having zero market access because we convoy raided them a little bit. Okay, we can now peace out with Russia and Austria for Baku and some liberations from Russia. Very, very nice. Unfortunately, Russia keeps Bessarabia, which looks pretty awful. But other than that, the country is looking pretty nice. Russia's, not nearly as strong of a country anymore. They lost Ukraine, and they're probably going to go down to being a minor power now. We'll see. They're going to go down to being a major power at least, and if they bankrupt, they should become a minor. But let's see how their debt is going. They're in 9.7 million debt right now. See how that adjusts next tick. Now they're in 9.95. Yeah, so they are going up in debt. I'm going to start enacting women's suffrage because we do want to start getting our workforce ratio up. So unfortunately, the evil Americans are invading Mexico, which is, yeah, not very nice. We will just join Mexico, I guess, and then immediately surrender this play, probably. Yeah, we should be capitulating to America here. Warn Romania again. I assume we can't get these guys as subject. Oh, are they subject to Russia? Oh, they are. So I just released Maya from British Guatemala, and now we're going to grant a bunch of states to the USA, and this is going to reduce into puppet. And then once we've done that, we're going to grant all of North America to Maya and then annex them. And yeah, that's going to be the greatest scam in the world, scamming everyone out of their country. And then we're going to have North America as a new territory directly owned by the British Crown. Oh yeah, we need to reduce autonomy on Canada so we can give away their states. Okay, unfortunately, to get to Quebec, we do need to grant away, like, New York or something, which I don't think I want to do. I don't think it's worth it, unfortunately. But yeah, we get this huge Maya. Oh, we need to declare neutrality. And then we can annex Maya. How much infamy was that? 2.7? Sounds pretty reasonable for a full continent. Anyways, the British Republic grows larger. And most of the stuff is incorporatable in 5 years, except for like California, I think. I must subvent the export of automobiles further. We need more trade centers to export them, I think. Yeah, we must build all the trade centers. Oh, some of our trade centers aren't on mass scale trading. We need to fix this real quick. This is a terrible injustice. We need more automobile exports now. We pass women's suffrage. It's going to be nice for getting our workforce ratio up. I'm now going to go down to medium taxes because it seems like can't really spend all this money we have, so might as well just stimulate the consumer economy a little bit. I'm going to move our market capital to Beijing because it is quite a bit closer to most of our GDP, which means you can see we just went from negative 14,000 convoys to positive 33,000 convoys, and we shouldn't need to build a million ports and subsidize them ever again. Now, I did just realize one of the reasons we were spending convoys on that is Sind is in the way of us actually connecting through the Ottomans, so we might want to conquer them. But also, we do want to try to bankrupt Russia, so maybe that's not a top priority since we already have some convoys right now anyway. Siberia, you're getting liberated from Russia, as well as, let's see here. Well, what else do we want to liberate just to make them less likely to back down to this play? Because you really just want to convoy raid them so they can continue going into more debt and bankrupt. Humiliation, you can definitely do that. We really don't want to do anything that costs infamy, I think. So, and we don't want to take away some of their good states. So let's maybe like lib Latvia and lib Dagestan. Yeah. I think it's time to start ramping up our construction a little bit because we are just running a pretty positive balance. So yeah, we gotta invest in a bunch more construction over here in China and stuff. Give us more state construction efficiency, which will be nice, but also we just need to get our construction up a little bit. We actually built very little. I'm gonna just click like this a bunch to build a real amount of construction. Great convoy ratings, reducing market access in Russia down to around 20% so far, and it should, of course, reduce it all the way down to 100% by the time the war is concluded. We're getting super close to all of our states that we started incorporating at the very start being incorporated, which is going to be nice. Should probably just keep spamming some more automobiles for now. It's the only thing that's really super profitable. Looks like we have a good chance of rolling a Democrat on our industrialists if we exile them. I want to go universal suffrage, so let's see if we can get that. Yeah, we can. Okay. And let's just go universal suffrage because that'll make the trade unions more powerful. And if the trade unions become more powerful, I want to try to pass old age pension eventually because it will generate more money into the economy, which we do quite badly need. We are getting occupied, so maybe we should just try to make peace with Russia real quick, not liberate Latvia or Dagestan. But we do want to live Siberia, I think, because it'll be kind of nice to conquer. Well, it depends on how likely we think it is that we can subjugate Russia. And actually, I think that's incredibly likely given that they're at 409 prestige right now, or 419 prestige. So let's actually just humiliate them, and we're just going to hope that we can subjugate them at some point. I think that our odds of that are looking pretty solid. They're currently in 83 million debt, and that's going to probably go up quite a lot every Monday tick. Yeah, they just went up 400k, and I assume that they don't really have far to go before they bankrupt. Well, unfortunately, we don't have oil in Baku, so we can't slot in the Baku Oil Company. I'm thinking maybe we just like slot in generic like a furniture company or something. I don't know if that would be good. I'm actually going to take a look at like how much of our sell orders would that represent in terms of market. Is those things actually way less sold than I thought? Oh, they're actually like way down here. Glass is here and furniture is all the way down at this page. Wow. Wait, what? Where even was furniture? I'm so confused. I lost furniture somehow. Is it on the third page? Oh, there it is. Yeah, 2.60 million. So actually that's terrible. Maybe we just go oil? Oil actually isn't that high up either. Groceries, paper are quite high up. So maybe we just try out a grocery company for now, and then if we get Baku oil, we'll probably disband this company in favor of that. But if we don't, we might just keep this company in, because it does seem like it's a pretty solid option right now. Yeah, slot in Baku, or not Baku oil, slot in the generic food, give this a monopoly on food industries, and this will be a pretty nice company. You can also give it wheat farms. And the incorporation of Hebei and Shaanxi and stuff is about to complete. Very nice. Oh, we actually got oil in Baku. Yeah, we're gonna build that up, and we're gonna hope that we can get Pops to move there, and we're gonna be disbanding our food company probably to get that company. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe there's another company that's actually less profitable. I don't think so. Tool company is actually surprisingly unprofitable. Do we have a company that we can like get into tools? I don't think we want to actually. We could give tooling to the wood company or something, but I don't think we want to do that. Oh, Russia has declared bankruptcy. Very nice. Unfortunately, they did declare bankruptcy a little bit too early for us to be likely to be able to subjugate them off this. Or maybe they'll actually stay low enough. Yeah, we'll see. How much debt are they back in already? Only 3 million so far? Alright. Have they recovered market access yet? Let's take a look. Oh, they have. Dang. I'm going to continue to expand construction because it looks like we're not running a negative balance very much anymore. With the addition of more construction, our GDP is going pretty well. We're getting kind of close to the investment pool hitting the 1,000 private investment cap, which is quite a big problem in 1.9.6. Migration into Baku is kind of crazy. 850k people in Baku right now. The oil mines must employ. Let's probably turn on this PM. Yeah, transportation prices are super low here, so that's just going to give us a little bit more oil. Wow, steel manufactories are incredibly profitable right now. We should probably get to building more steel in states that have huge unemployment. So yeah, Shaanxi, you get to have the greatest steel mill in the history of steel mills because we have 3 million unemployed pops to deal with in Shaanxi, or not Shaanxi, Jiangxi. That should be good enough. I think the Russians are probably going to hit 547 prestige before we can subjugate them. I don't know. We got like 2 years till we can subjugate them. So it seems kind of unlikely. But we'll see. We've got a bunch of spare oil. I think I'm going to turn on diesel engines. It's going to probably give us some oil shortages. But you know, it'll be fine. We're also going to run like a ridiculous amount of oversupply of engines. But it'll be fine. Soon enough we should be able to disband the food company, right? Yeah, just 2 more years, looks like. Well, it feels like my GDP is stagnating quite a lot due to a lack of demand, so I'm going to remove all consumption taxes in a hope that this will inflate our economy a little bit more. You know, we can just get some more money that will be spent in the economy, which is always a little bit nice. You can see like 11% excess on the lower strata, which should hopefully result in the SOL going up. With the lower taxes, looks like our economy is doing a little bit better. We're like 6.2 billion. I think that's a little bit better than we were doing before. Just gotta keep increasing supply for goods, and especially once we get the oil company going, that will be good for increasing our supply of oil, which we do need in order to help our economy. We should actually subvent the import of oil, because I think the world market has some oil, maybe. Doesn't have too much, but maybe some countries will make more oil if we make the price go up really high. Looks like Austria might have some oil to export to us. Let's maybe take a look at how much oil they might have, except we need to actually click goods before clicking on them. Wait, we saw oil there? No, we didn't. I'm crazy. Let's see how much oil they have to sell to us. They have 0. What? That's not nice. Yeah, it looks like not actually that many people have oil yet, but hopefully we can incentivize people to make oil. Russia's getting close to being a major power, but they have 13 months on the truce, so let's maybe try raising dev wages. We do want to subsidize our economy a bit more as well, so that'll be good for that too. With iron prices finally being above plus 20%, it does make sense to remove our iron monopoly because it is just increasing iron prices by more than it, like it's increasing the demand costs by more than it's increasing its own profits, because that's what happens when buy orders are higher than sell orders. So that should be good for making our steel mills quite a bit more productive because they'll not have to pay 20% less for their iron. Should start expanding the lead mines a bit more, I guess. Unfortunately, we're like really out of resources. If we could annex Russia, we'd be in a much better situation, but I don't think we're gonna be able to. We'll see. But yeah, they're at 625 prestige, and yeah, we have 10 months left, so that's not happening, unfortunately. Very sad. We tried our best. I'm gonna encourage resource industries in a bunch of the states where we have lots of resources because we do want to have as many resources as possible to help out with our GDP growth. Like especially rubber, we're lacking a lot of rubber, and a bunch of states over here in the UK could really use this modifier, I guess. I don't know exactly where it's going to be the best states, but there are a load of good states to use this on. Doesn't matter exactly which states we use it on too much. Or did we get universal suffrage through? No, we failed it. Dang. Should we try to go old age pension? Maybe. Only 16% success chance is really bad. Can we get the labor movement to be activist enough to help us, maybe? Let's try fake passing wage subsidies and then canceling. I want to get old age pension for the money it'll put into our economy. Okay, apparently that's not enough. We need more. Okay, I used graduated tax to get the remaining activism, and now we can go old age pension. It's not a great success chance versus our huge stall chance we're going to be getting, but it's also not terrible, so we can maybe get this through. We'll see. Yeah, Russia is a major power again, and I don't think they're even bankrupting. Yeah, they're not even in debt, so that's unfortunate. Unfortunately, the passing of old age pension is going really badly, so far at least. We can finally disband the food conglomerate and replace it with the greatest company in the history of companies, if the company would disband, that is. I don't know why it's not disbanding. This is very strange. Oh, okay, give it a... Okay, it disbanded. And now we can go ahead and go for the Branabel company, which is going to be very nice. They're giving us our prestige oil, and it'll also give us a company for electricity, which is an industry that we'd love to cover. I think that the company in Romania is actually better, but we didn't have time to conquer that really, so going for Branabel instead. Give this power plants, and how long? Cannot be revoked for 60 months? Okay, that's maybe a little too long. We should make sure that we're privatizing the oil rigs though, because if we're not, we won't get this company very far. And then, yeah, this company is gonna buy up a ton of stuff very quickly. How many levels is it already at? Let's take a look. Already at 282 levels. It's gonna buy up all of our oil rigs in just a couple of weeks. You know, just already at 600 levels. That seems pretty good. Yep, it's going up super fast. Already 800. Wow, this is crazy. This is the slightly high productivity of my company. With oil now being negative price, maybe we should swap up to glass works, because glass would be very nice. I mean, houseware plastics, because now we can actually like have glass. Yeah, glass is now like mega low price. We can remove those tariffs. And it crashes our GDP slightly temporarily, but I think it'll be good long term. We do run like a little bit of an oil shortage here. Let's max subvent the import of oil. We need more oil. I think it's time to start trying to supercharge the economy with minimum taxes because, yeah, the budget, or not the budget, the economy is kind of stalling out due to a lack of available jobs because, like, everything is super unproductive, except for apparently Hainanese trade centers, which are the most productive thing in the universe. Oh, I forgot to level up healthcare to level 5. What a terrible mistake. No! How could I do this? This is terrible. Negative 2,000 tax capacity usage in Texas? That's crazy, bro. Lower taxes, we've managed to get up to 8.34 billion GDP now, which is pretty nice, and I assume SOL might still have a little bit more climbing it can do. Let's take a look. Still 7.5%, 18% excess on the upper strat is actually quite a lot, so yeah, we might still get some movement in our SOL. Interesting, it looks like our upper strata are making around the same amount of total money as lower strata. There's 100 times less of them, but they're making 100 times more money. Well, we're getting close to 10 billion GDP. We need to start trying to annex our country, annex our subjects to get there. Annexing all of our subjects isn't quite enough, but if we like stop up their PMs and stuff, it'll be useful. So I'm going to grant over the Roman Republic to the Ottomans and then annex the Ottomans. That'll be pretty nice. Okay, now we can annex the Ottomans. They have a 34% chance of accepting. We'll see if they do or not. Oh, they do. Okay, nice. You can start incorporating all these states, although almost certainly none of them will finish. Maybe the ones in Italy and the Balkans. I'm gonna build max construction so that we can, increase GDP. Some would say it's fake GDP, but I don't care. I'm hitting 10 billion, okay? 9.4 billion. The block is over 10 billion, but there's no way we can annex enough of them to get over 10 billion with that. We just need a little bit more, and then if we like annex Canada or something, we'll be able to hit it. We just hit 9.5 billion. Also, we passed old age pension, which would be more useful if we could level it up, but unfortunately, we don't really have bureaucracy for that. Maybe we should build some in Nagixia, because that state has lots of unemployment. That's where I'm mostly building right now. Um, oh, 9.56 billion. We're actually getting quite close. Yeah, 10.2 billion in the block. Are we actually just going to hit 10 billion without annexing any more countries? We're at 9.76 billion now. It's going up. 9.93 billion. We're very close. We had a couple of hitches where we dropped down to like 9.6 billion, but as long as construction stays full, we're doing very good. Have we maxed out everything we can spend money on? I think so, pretty much. Oh, I did not mean to go down and have wages. Put those back up. Yeah, okay. It's just a matter of time till we hit 10 billion at this point, right? Oh, the very next Monday tick, we hit 10 billion. Okay, very nice. Before even halfway through 1908, we hit 10 billion GDP. So that means in what? How many years was that? Why am I able to calculate this? In a mere 72 years, we managed to hit 10 billion GDP. Well, I think I'm going to end off the run here. Very successful. 10 billion GDP, 7.9 GDP per capita. We can take a look and see if anything has changed. We can see English has taken over half of Ireland. I don't know if Scottish is normal in Ulster. I don't think so. There's a lot of Scottish people in Ulster for some reason. And then Irish is still sitting there in Connaught. And then over here in America, do we see anything weird? I got a bunch of states have been colonized by English people. It's a little bit surprising to see so many English instead of like Han or anything, but I guess assimilation is turning them into English people, maybe? I'm not 100% sure if that's assimilation or whatever. Looks like we did not convert Normandy at all. We could have tried to encircle the French market capital, but we probably would have had to go further for that to do too much. Over here in India, as normal, everything looks normal, really. Except for Han taking over Eastern Mongolia, I guess, and Yue taking over North Heiliongjiang. This is what our GDP map mode looks like. You can see pretty much the normal states, I think, except maybe what's actually weird about this? I think it's all pretty normal except for maybe Northern Hui being a little bit low. Yeah, this only has GDP per capita of like 4, which is pretty low. And over here in America, everything's quite low except for like Pennsylvania and New York. Like Indiana's only got 20 million GDP, but this is just because, yeah, the population in these states is fairly small. 21 SOL isn't too bad considering we don't have like any prestige goods consumption in our country. I'm pretty sure we have no consumer prestige goods in this set here. Yeah, we have no consumer prestige goods. So I think hitting 21 SOL is not too bad. Although it is lower than my Russia run, so I'm wondering what causes the significantly lower SOL. I don't think that the reduction in ownership pops was enough to do this, right? It has to be something else than that. It's got to be, what's it called? Like they must have decreased wages or something, because I don't think that the slight reduction in ownership pops in 1.9.6 would be enough to reduce SOL by like 5. Anyway, I think we did decent. Probably you can do quite a bit better. We didn't really abuse Sovereign Empire as much as we maybe theoretically could have, but it clearly was good enough because we beat my previous 10 billion GDP record by like 11 years, which is a pretty good time save. So yeah, goodbye. That's the end of the video.